The Lodge Activity Board is no longer restricted to just 3 minutes or under. Join Board Director Stephen Reynolds and his co-host du jour as they dive a little deeper into what's happening in Door County. It's time to go beyond the board with FM 106.9, The Lodge.
I hope you're strapped in and ready to go because it's time for us to go beyond the board. Yeah, podcast time. Today we're going to do a deep dive on the Door County cherry with Bob Lautenbach and Carrie Lautenbach, father and daughter from Lautenbach's Orchard Country Winery and Market. We'll talk about how you get those cherries off of the trees, and Bob has been doing it a long time, and he's got a very unique way. You're going to want to hear all about that. We're also going to find out how far they can spit a pit. Yeah, the pit spit contest, always popular at Lautenbach's. And let's just say maybe daughter has a little bit of an edge over father. And we're even going to touch on when Bob was my Little League coach way back in the day. All kinds of good stuff as we go beyond the board. Well, this might end up being a somewhat controversial beyond the board. Hey, everybody, it's me, Stefan, and it is a debate as old as time. It rages on, like the, is it tomato or tomato? Well, is it Lautenbach or Lautenbach? We're going to settle that debate today because I have in Studio B with me Carrie Lautenbach and Bob Lautenbach. Bob is he's the patriarch of the family. He's the father. Carrie is his daughter, and they own Lautenbach's Orchard Country Winery and Market, which is located in Fish Creek right there at the top of the hill. Hey, kids.
Hey, Stefan.
How are you? Bob, you with me?
Good morning.
Go over and check him for a pulse, will you? No, he's okay. So let's start with resolving that. I know that even within the family, the two sisters, Carrie, what's your other sister's name?
Erin.
Erin and Carrie can't even agree if it's Lautenbach or Lautenbach. And Carrie, which pronunciation do you prefer?
It's Lautenbach.
She cottons to
German.
Lautenbach.
German.
And how about you, Bob?
I like Lautenbach because I'm all German.
So which one is correct?
Well, for me, it's Lautenbach because I'm all German. For my daughter, it's Lautenbach because she's half Swedish.
Oh.
And half German.
That just made it more complicated. That didn't settle the debate at all.
No, see, we're still controversy.
Well, you can make your choice then, you people listening to the Beyond the Board podcast. When you run into them in public or at their place, Orchard Country Winery and Market, you can call them Lautenbach or Lautenbach, just as long as you love cherries. That's a good reason to go there. And that is one of the reasons I'm having these nice people here for this podcast, because it is cherry harvest time. And Bob, you've been very busy, haven't you?
Yes, I have. It's one of my best times of the year. I love cherry business, and I love being able to harvest all the cherries that we worked all year to create.
How long does it take to harvest all the cherries?
We're usually at least 4 weeks.
How many trees do you think you have?
Well, we've got about approximately 4,000 or 5,000 cherry trees, at least.
That's a lot of cherry trees. And so you pick every one of those cherries by hand, right?
No, all the fresh cherries that are sold in the market are picked by hand, and the rest that we make juice out of are shook off the tree with a machine called a cherry harvester.
Yeah, the cherry harvester. I got the good fortune of getting to see this thing in action. That is a cool gadget. I saw you shaking a tree. It takes all of about 20 seconds to get those cherries off the tree.
That or less, and it probably replaces about 100 people picking by hand.
How long have you done it that way?
Since the late 60s.
And you're good at it. What is the key to shaking a tree?
Well, you have to be careful not to bump into the tree because you don't want to tear the bark off the tree because that will kill the tree or harm the tree, of course. So you have to be a little bit gentle with them. You have to wait till the cherries are quite ripe so you can pull them off with your hand without leaving the pit on the tree.
Yeah, when I buy a cherry, I want the pit with it. I'm paying for the whole cherry, right?
Right.
And you mentioned to me the grabbers, the things that grab onto the trunk. You line those with what, lard or something like that?
Yeah, that's the claw that attaches onto the trunk, and we put Crisco lard on the pads so it slips a little bit and it's easier on the tree.
And when do those cherries blossom?
Usually the end of May, and it's usually approximately 60 days from there till harvest.
Okay, so how long? That's about a 60-day growing period, you say? A couple
About
months?
2 months.
Okay. And then when you're all done, you head down to Florida, Boca Raton or whatever, and you just kick back for the rest of the year?
Not really. There's a lot of maintenance on the trees. There's a lot of maintenance on the equipment before the next year, of course. So there's preparation after the harvest this year for next year.
How many years you been at this?
50.
Wow, 50 years. And you're bringing the family into the business. I've got the lovely and talented Carrie with me. Carrie, why did you want to be a part of this whole program?
Why? That's a good question. I grew up in picking cherries for the family business. Went away for a couple of years, didn't think, that was something for me. And after I grew up a little bit and realized what a great experience it was growing up on the family farm, I definitely wanted to come back and be a part of that.
Why is it fun?
Why is it fun? Well, it's fun. It's a challenge working with your family, but at the same time, it's very fun to meet new visitors every year and see how different families come back year after year to have our farm and our cherry picking be a part of their family tradition as well.
And when you say family, I got the sense when I was there, we're talking about a big extended family. It seems like some of the people that have worked for you for a long time, they must feel like family, no?
Absolutely. We try to include everybody in as part of the family, whether they've been doing it forever like Bob, and whether they have Lautenbach blood in their veins or not.
Yeah. Well, it is a fun atmosphere. And speaking of fun, you got the Fall Harvest Fest coming up. Tell me, when is that going to happen?
So we're talking about cherries today, but don't forget that we also grow apples. So September 21st, Saturday, September 21st, about 10 to 5, we'll be doing our 15th annual Fall Harvest Fest. And we'll hopefully have some pick your own apples ready for that. We missed out on pick your own cherries this year at our Summer Harvest Festival because they weren't quite ready, but hopefully, Bob, what's your thought on that? You think we'll have some pick your own apples on September 21st?
Hopefully we'll have some.
We'll find some somewhere.
He really went out on a limb there, didn't he? So with a lot of these festivals, you often have the ever popular cherry pit spit contest. What's your personal best, Bob?
Mine is approximately 24'9".
And how about you, Carrie?
Whoa. Just the other day, I spit about 27.8. So looks like I'm a little
And
more
the
steam.
state record is 48 feet, so I'm a little off.
Okay. Well, you're quite the athlete. And in fact, we figured out that we knew each other from a previous life. You at one time were my Little League coach, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing that too. And now I really enjoy seeing the kids, how they got older and became men, and also watching them, some of them play ball later in life in the Door County League.
Well, I'm one of your little men. Unfortunately, I didn't go on to play any more baseball. I wasn't so good. Maybe you recall I had a good attitude, didn't I?
You had an excellent attitude.
Yeah, my little brother Andrew played as well. That was with the Ephraim Fish Creek team, and we were so-so. And in fact, it was very humbling when we'd go over to the island. They would always spank us.
Yes, they would.
We would make ourselves feel better by the fact that, that's all they have to do on the island. So, well.
Let's play baseball.
So another event you might want to look forward to a little sooner than Fall Harvest Fest is the Food Trucks and Floaties, which is going on this Saturday, August 17th from 11 to 4. Beat the summer heat by heading to Onsium Beach and Park in Bailey's Harbor. No shoes, no shirts, no problem, man, as they celebrate their food truck scene with Chives, Harbor Pizza, and Harbor Griddle and Grill trucks, Lumberjack, Taco Shack, Wally's Weenie Wagon. Have you tried that Wally's Weenie Wagon, anyone?
I haven't yet, but I'd like to.
Here's going to be your chance. And Ohana Hospitality will be there. Need something a little cooler? Check out Bearded Heart's pop-up coffee shop with coffee, cold brew, and cold brew popsicles. Grab some grub before heading down to the sandy beach at Anklam Park. Oh, it's Anklam Park? I said Ancium. Where am I from? Anklam Park to cool off in the crystal clear waters of Lake Michigan. Better yet, bring your own floaty or buy one from the concession stand. Nothing beats floating around while catching some rays. You can also play on the 18-foot fun pad. You think you guys could break away for a little while on Saturday and go to the food trucks and floaties event?
Let's do it, Bob.
Uh-oh, the pressure's on.
I bet there's no chance in heck that you'd be able to do that because this is your busy season, right?
Yes, it is.
It is. We're coming to the end of our cherry harvest here, but we still have some cherries to come on in and purchase in our market. And hopefully we'll be doing pick your own cherries here for a couple of days yet.
And we have another connection we figured out, Bob, because another of my jobs is to drive the Door County trolley. I work for A.J. Frank over there in Egg Harbor. And little did I know before I started working there that before he had that wonderful depot and gift shop in Egg Harbor, for a long time, he was renting from you.
Yes, AJ came to me one day and said he wanted to start a trolley business. And I thought, well, let's give him a shot. So I had a little milk house in front of the dairy barn where the winery is now. And that's where he originally started out in Door County.
So you've watched it grow over time from pretty much where he had, one or two trolleys in your rented pump house? And what has that been like?
Yeah, in the early days, he used to have about 2 customers, and he used to go down the road and drive them around and give them a tour. And then he'd come back, and he maybe had 2 trips a day. And now he's got many trolleys that are all over the county.
Yes, I can attest to that. He's got, I think, around 16 of those trolleys. We have all kinds of tours. Turns out it was a pretty good fit for the Door County tourism experience, huh?
Yeah, it was.
And we still have a strong connection with Lautenbach's Orchard Country Winery and Market. In fact, we do a winter wonderland tour all year round. And part of that experience is coming to Lautenbach's, where the sleigh is waiting for you with the big horses, the draft horses, and I've taken that ride, and it's neat because you go through the orchard and even out into the woods.
Yeah, people really enjoy it, especially in the wintertime when there's not a lot to do up here. It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of fun, Door Tran is a fun place to go, and Door Tran's fun event is coming up on Saturday, August 17th, their signature fundraising event of the year. It's Saturday from 2 to 5 with unlimited go-kart rides and golf for $20 plus raffles and silent auction. Funds raised will support their transportation services that keep Door County residents moving. Keep her moving. Oh, that is a copyrighted phrase. I better not use that. That is Charlie Barron's, the Manitowoc Minute guy. And he is coming actually to the Door Community Auditorium. He's going to be coming up in when? I think it's in October, is it? Or November? When the heck is it? I've got the schedule in front of me right here. And Manitowoc Minute and the special consensus is October the 20th. October the 20th. The 2019 main stage season will be kind of coming to an end at that point, although it looks like it goes through December. Some of the best stargazing happens indoors in Door County at the Door Community Auditorium, and a little sooner than that on the 29th. Make plans to go see Mavis Staples. She's a legend. She's coming, and that's at the DCA. So wrap up that Door Tran event. So mark your calendars. Check out the great work that they do at doortran.org. So that should be fun. Unlimited go-kart rides and golf for $20. That's a darn good deal. And I would like to remind you all that the big Fall Fest harvest celebration, apple picking, all that good stuff will be going on at Lautenbach's or Lautenbach's Orchard Country Winery Market, whichever you prefer. They are located in Fish Creek. Any final thoughts you'd like to impart upon the people? Let's start with you, Carrie. I've put you on the spot, haven't I?
You did put me on the spot. Final thoughts on Anything in particular?
Well, what's the most popular? I know what it is for me, but what's the most popular item there at Lautenbach's Orchard Country Winery?
Well, final thoughts would be just because you might not be able to make it up during our fresh cherry harvest, we have cherry products galore available year-round in our market. Everything from cherry pie to cherry salsa to frozen cherries, dried cherries, cherry poppy seed dressing, muffin mixes, pancake mixes, you name it, we have it, made with Door County cherries.
Do you ever get sick of cherries?
Absolutely not.
She was paid to say that. And she's right here with her dad, so he wouldn't approve.
She had no choice.
Chopped cherry jam. I have a jar of it from Lautenbach's in my fridge all the time on an English muffin, on a Bayes English muffin. Oh my gosh, that's a little bit of heaven. How about you, Bob? You ever get sick of cherries?
Never get sick of cherries, and a lot of people are starting to use cherries more and more because of the health benefits of cherries. A lot of people come into our market and buy our cherry juice and say it helps their arthritis. And it's a great cure for gout. And cherries are very high in melatonin, which helps you sleep better at night. What more would you want?
From Bob's mouth to your ears. Yes. Well, there's a breakdown on the Door County cherry, everything you wanted to know about the cherry, but maybe we're too afraid to ask. I hope this Beyond the Board podcast is taking good care of you in that department, in that regard. Thanks so much for listening, everybody, and thank you, Carrie and Bob, for joining me.
Thanks, Stefan, for having us.
Thank you.
Hey there. Thanks for listening. Find the latest episodes of Beyond the Board on the TuneIn app, Apple Podcasts, or right on FM 1069thelodge.com. Don't forget to be social. Like, share, subscribe, and comment to let us know how you felt about this episode.